Let me ask this question. You didn't receive it before charges were filed, did you?
No, I received it before charges were filed.
Had you provided it to the DAs before charges were filed?
It would have been attached to my report.
Are you sure about that?
I'm not sure, no.
Okay. My understanding is that you did not receive the report. You had discussed what was in the report, but you had not received it. Does that ring a bell?
Your Honor, I object. Facts not in evidence. I don't know that that's a correct statement.
You can answer the question. Do you recall?
I'm maybe misunderstanding your question. When did I review the nurse's report?
When did you receive the actual report from the SANE nurse?
I don't know the exact date. I don't remember.
Okay. Do you know if it was before or after charges were filed?
Before.
Do you know when you provided it to the DA's office?
I don't recall when I added it to the report.
Okay. Could that have been after charges were filed?
Yes.
I'm just going to see if he knows based on some of her statements.
Okay.
Let me ask you this. You may or may not know. I've got the report if you need to see it. There's various interviews with the alleged victim. She ultimately says, if I'm understanding her interviews correctly, that Parker performed oral sex on her, and that was consensual.
Correct.
And during your forensic interview, she denies performing oral sex on him.
I don't recall if she denied or didn't remember.
Okay.
But from my understanding, it wasn't. It was only him performing oral sex on her.
All right. In the sexual assault nurse examination report, as you're aware, the examiner goes through very detailed questions with, we'll call him a patient at that point,
Yes,
correct? And one of those, it's talking about all contact, genitalia, mouth, anus,
Yes.
all the things. And as a sexual assault nurse examiner is interviewing the patient, they're basically doing check marks.
Yes, ma'am.
Or contemporaneously filling this out, correct?
Correct.
And in this, there is a question, was there a contact with patient's mouth? So patient would be alleged victim.
Correct.
And penis genitals is marked yes, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So that seems to say at least on February 27th, while undergoing the examination, she admits that there was oral sex both ways.
Your Honor, I would object. I mean, that's a conclusion based upon a check mark. We don't have the SANE nurse here to testify what that even means.
Sustained. This witness can't testify what the check mark means.
Okay, but you'll agree there's that check mark.
Correct.
All right. Through this investigation, so you found those text messages between Kale and Parker, correct?
Correct.
And there is this, as the prosecutor has already said, there's this conversation about cracking.
Correct.
And you never interviewed Kale until after this case is filed, correct?
Correct.
And when you interview Kale says, no, that's not our interpretation of it. It can mean anything from making out to other things, correct?
It was his interpretation of the word.
Right. And he's the one using it with Parker.
Correct.
And have you ever looked into all the memes and TikToks and all those things about cracked?
Yeah, I attempted to find the original where it came from. From what I gathered, it means to have sexual intercourse.
But there's plenty of memes and things about it that aren't
Correct.
sexual
Yes.
intercourse,
Yes.
right?
Correct.
And fair to say, as an investigator, for example, someone like Kale, who's part of the LDS church and never had sex. Maybe his version of using this term is different.
I'm going to
What-
object.
Sustained. What Kel thinks and how he's using the term is something to ask Kel, not this detective.
Well, he did ask Kale, that's what I'm asking. So Kale told
And,
you,
Your Honor, I would object to and move to strike the statements about Kale being LDS, Kale now having sex. That's completely, those are facts, not in evidence.
Those are stricken. Did you ask Kel what he thought cracked meant?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay, and what did he say?
He said it could mean essentially anything, doing anything with a girl.
Thank you. You can move on now, Ms. Tangaro.
all right, at this time, I'm actually going to introduce our 1102 statement from Kale.
Any objection to the court
I
receiving
need to redact.
and admitting that 1102 statement subject to redaction?
No, Your Honor.
Okay.
All right, I'll come back to that information. Let's talk, though, just going back to the text messages between Kale and Parker. It's clear from those text messages that there is an attempt to plan a double date with these two girls, right?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's earlier in the day, right?
Correct.
And they're talking, you've got Kale and Parker talking about, should we go bowling? Should we go to ice cream? All these things about where they might do a double date, correct?
Correct.
And that other girl is the girl that would have been home that night during this alleged event.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm not going to name her for obvious reasons. But there's back and forth, and then there's clear from these text messages that particularly the other girl, the roommate, is being a little non-communicative.
Yes, from what I gathered, she was at another party or something when they were trying to set up the date or during the time that they were supposed to be on the date. I'd have to review the messages again.
Okay. And then as the messages go on and it's getting later, it sort of becomes clear that Kale and other girl are probably out,
Correct.
but alleged victim and Parker might be on.
Correct.
And in fact, at some point, alleged victim just sends Parker her address,
That's what he told Kale.
right?
I don't have that interaction of her
Okay, but
sending
that's
him.
part of the text message.
That's part of the text message, yes, ma'am.
And then, based on these text messages, the exact timing of everything because there's timestamps on them, correct, between Kel and Parker.
Yes, ma'am.
And in fact, there's Parker, even when he has the address, is saying, I don't know if I'm going to go. Should I go, brah? That type of thing,
Correct.
right? And then you have a text message in here that says 5 minutes out.
Correct.
And so we know from this that Parker arrives at that location at about 1:30 a.m.
Correct. Yeah, roughly.
When the alleged victim is initially giving her interview, she puts it earlier in the night, right?
I believe so, yes.
I think she says 11:45 or 12.
Sure.
Okay. But we know, based on this, it's 1:30 a.m.
Correct.
All right. And then we also know, based on these texts, that Parker left at about 3:30 a.m.
Correct.
All right, so I want to go through taking sort of everything we know from various interviews and make sure we understand at least what one version of events is.
Okay.
So Parker shows up at 1:30 a.m.
Correct.
There's a brief interaction between Parker and the roommate.
Yes.
Parker and the alleged victim go up to her bedroom.
Correct.
There's a TV in her bedroom.
Correct.
According to the alleged victim, and I want to get her timeline. I want to make sure I have this correct. Because she says that they ended up interacting for quite a while. I think it's almost an hour. Does that sound about right?
If I recall, I can check my report, but yeah, if I recall,
Okay,
it was.
I'm going to get my notes. I got to switch screens.
Yeah, my report says, she said he arrived between 11 PM and midnight. They talked for about an hour and then watched a movie.
Okay, so went upstairs and talked for 30 minutes, watched a movie for an hour, and then engaged in some type of sexual activity for an hour?
Yeah, I mean, I'd have to go back and look to
Okay.
verify those times, but
Do you have that 11:02 somewhere? Yeah, may see it.